Welcome back. I really hope y'all enjoyed our first podcast. I don't know if you guys noticed, but we have some back to eating merch on. Don't play with us. Don't play with us. We selling them for $50 a pop.
It's definitely giving 30.
No, it's 25. We sell for $25 a pop. If you are interested, silences. How do you silence this? Lord, God, I did it on my phone. Anyways, anywho, we got some merch or whatever. So if you guys are interested in purchasing the merch, holla at us. It's $25 a pop. This is best what the logo is for now. We are trying to like see maybe other possible logos for it, but yeah, it just says back to Eden. You know, something slight, but it's really cute. I think I like it.
Yeah, it's definitely in the early stages. My mom says that she does want to make us an official logo, but I definitely wanted something with Back to Eden on it for our second podcast episode. This is the first episode that's going to be available on like an actual podcast streaming site. So hi to the audio listeners.
Yes, hey audio listeners. Yes.
So excited.
Y'all, this thing I love is holding the mic to my mouth. Yes. Anyways,
we're official.
Don't get me started.
We're official.
Real official.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna tell my topic for today?
Yes, our topic for today is contentment.
Contentment. Oh, fun, right? Being content. Yeah, we know. It can be a little rough sometimes. Yes. So, did you want to elaborate? Do you want me to?
Let's start here. What do you think when you hear the word contentment?
I would say that being content is a place of waiting and a place of learning patience and a place of leveling up silently. That's what I would say contentment is.
I've never heard it that like used that way before, but like it makes perfect sense when you think about it. For me, I feel like contentment is, even though you don't necessarily feel the most secure in your current situation, your current relationship, your current predicament, you're okay with it and you've accepted it, whatever that may be, for what it is.
Right. I totally agree. But we're just here to talk to you guys about contentment and just to give you some enlightenment about just feeling content sometimes, because sometimes you can be content and not feel content in being content. You know?
That's real.
Yeah. So we just want to give you guys some encouragement, because sometimes you might feel a little stuck, or you might feel like stuff is just not happening fast enough, stuff is just not happening for you, and the whole time God is working on your behalf. So, I know that for a fact we do have like maybe some like examples that we can use as far as biblically wise, and just some examples personally that we can implement into this segment.
Okay, so when Jordan was telling me telling us, because we're here together, when he was telling us his definition of contentment, I thought of another Bible story, because I was just gonna read like a scripture that's in the New Testament, but I started thinking back to the Old Testament when God first told Abraham about his promise of Isaac, his son.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know the story, I'm going to give you a little bit of context, so let me just give me 1 second.
Yeah, she be real good at giving context of stories sometimes, because she be really schooled in me. So I'm ready to hear about this. You trying to find which verse it is? I mean, or which chapter?
The verse.
It was kind of, it's like smack dead in the middle of the Abraham story.
Y'all, I'm looking at my iPad if you can't see it.
Yeah, we got our iPads.
Yeah, we bougie today.
Well, I just grabbed mine. I don't even have to stop Apple mine, but she grabbed hers, so I had to grab mine. It's like be bougie too.
Okay, so I'm looking at Genesis 15. Okay, so just a little context about the story. If you want to read more about this specific story in the Bible, it's Genesis 15. The start of Abraham's story is Genesis 12. So if you want to read about Abraham, our father Abraham,
Father Abraham has many sons.
those are the chapters.
Has many sons as Father Abraham, and I am one of them. It's over you. Let's just praise the Lord.
Left on right foot, chin up, chin down, down around. Hey. Okay. So I'm in Genesis 15. God has told Abraham, I'm going to make you a father of many nations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you ancestors that are more numerous than the stars in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And Abraham, he about 90 years old.
He real old.
When God first told Abraham about this promise, Abraham was in his 70s.
Mm-hmm.
His wife Sarah was in her 60s. And it got to a point where 20 years later, Abraham still hadn't received a son.
Right.
He hadn't received an heir yet. He's like, God, like,
where my son at?
You know, and he was still being faithful, still serving, still giving, still being all that God needed him to be, although he was waiting on his promise from God.
Right. But then look, when around that time is when he had already told God, he was like, well, God, you ain't gave me the son that I'm expecting, so I already done picked the heir for the family. He already picked somebody who wasn't even his son to take over for his family's legacy.
And
yes.
I'm glad you brought that up, because so in the story, Abraham's wife Sarah, I'm not really a big fan of Sarah.
I'm not either.
If you read Genesis, you'll know why. I'm not a big fan of Sarah. So Sarah, she gave her maid to Abraham
to have children for them.
To have children, because she thought, you know, since God isn't moving, let me do it. Let me make this promise from my husband. Even though Sarah's not God. Tell me why this lady, she get mad at Abraham after her maid has the baby.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, he's gonna be the heir. Sarah's mad, like,
yeah,
girl, you the one that initiated all of this,
right?
So the problem becomes, just because God isn't moving when you want him to doesn't mean he's not moving for you.
Right, and just because he's not moving when you want him to doesn't mean you start doing things on your own.
You start getting yourself in trouble.
You start messing up your blessings.
Getting yourself in situations you can't see your way out of because you moving before God's timing. That's not how it works.
Oh, you know, that's crazy, because a lot of times I feel like at one point I used to do that a whole lot because you know, when you first start this Christian walk, you get real motivated and on fire for God. You want to do everything. You want to go to church. You want to do everything in the book.
I'm telling you, that first 3 months,
child, that first month alone, you feel like you done
save the world.
No, literally.
Cure world hunger.
No, literally.
Like,
but it becomes a point where God is like, okay, I'm glad you finally surrendered to me, but you just not starting. You have a long way to go. God has some things that he needs to purge and cleanse from you before you can do everything that you need to do. While you trying to jump and do everything, God ain't prepared you yet to do everything. You ain't prepared. You ain't got the tools yet. You ain't let go of some of the things you need to let go yet to be able to do things that God needs you to do.
And I feel like that's a big thing when it comes to contentment. I feel like with contentment comes a season of isolation, where God isolates you, so he's able to purge all of those things that's in you, so you're able to step into the promise that he has for you. So what I mean by isolation, you isolating yourself from things that tempt you, things that make you backtrack, things or people, surroundings,
talk about it,
areas that just make you just really one with your flesh instead of one with the spirit.
sometimes God got to separate you from some things in order for you to focus. And I think that's what it really is. I think that's what that isolation is because so many things distract us, whether it be social media. It could be your mama, your daddy, your boo thing. It could be your best friends. You know what I'm saying? It can be your job. But sometimes God will strip those things. And it feels like everything is crashing down on you. But God is saying, I need to take everything that is in your tunnel vision away so that you are able to truly see me. And I just think that it's so powerful. And I think it's so necessary because a lot of times we idolize things that we truly don't realize we idolize, whether it be music, whether it be family, whether it be friends. And God is saying, I need to take you away from that so that you can see me, so that you can hear me. That's why sometimes I be having to say, Lord, whatever you gotta do to take away, because I need to hear something from you. Take it all away. If you gotta take it all away, Lord, take it. Because I need to hear something from you. But it is real.
And like Abraham's story just is one of the many examples in the Bible of just truly trusting God through all of that. I feel like that's what contentment is for.
Yeah.
Is you learning, like truly learning for yourself to trust God. And it's like, it's crazy that, you know, when this kind of thing happens, like you go through a season of isolation or you go through a season of contentment, when these situations happen, that's just a way for God to make you more dependent on him. I feel like it's truly a way for you to really stop leaning on your own understanding, stop leaning on other people or other things, and just truly lean on God.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, so I just did something that I thought would be extremely necessary for the people who genuinely just don't know what contentment means. So I looked up contentment, just the dictionary, what's the word? The dictionary meaning of the word. And it says a state of happiness and satisfaction. That's contentment. And then the definition for content is in a state of peaceful happiness. And I think that is so important to mention because a lot of times when you aren't content and you are constantly seeking after more and more and more, you're never at peace. You're seeking for more love. You're seeking for more respect. You're seeking for more, you know what I'm saying, more money, more, you know, attention. And because you're seeking it, you know what I'm saying, you truly don't get to fully enjoy that peace. To be content, you're in that peace. To be okay with where you are and trusting God that, you know, I'm exactly where I need to be. I think that's very important to bring out of just being in a state of contentment, because being in contentment is peace. It's being okay with where I'm at and be okay with not knowing where I'm going, but having faith that God will bring me to exactly where I need to be and that he's moving me in the perfect timing that I need to be in. I think that's very important. That's really, that's good. That's
you
good.
better do it.
That's good.
Okay. Yeah, contentment equals peace.
Yeah.
You know you're content when you're at peace.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's so hard for people to be at peace or be content in their current situation because they're always thinking of
what to do better.
Oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to do this. I got so much on my plate, blah, 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 blah. But I feel like, again, that's what comes with trusting God.
Yeah.
If you really just give what you're, like, stressing yourself over, stressing yourself out about, you're anxious about, if you give it all to God, you will truly be at peace, I promise. Like, it's been so many situations personally where I would just be freaking out, like, God, I don't know what I'm gonna do, blah, blah, blah. And the Holy Spirit just looking at me like, girl, like,
sit down.
What are you doing? You don't gotta do that for yourself. What are you doing?
Bro, tell me about it.
And it's crazy because every single time I feel myself stressing out, I be looking at myself like, girl, what are you?
You was good.
Like, you need to
sit
chill
back and
out.
relax.
Like,
relax.
pipe it down, babe. Like, like, what's going on? I feel like, yeah.
Bro.
Like, it's really that though. Like, once you realize, like, God has put you in this position because he wants to take on the heavy burdens that you carry, life becomes so much easier and more peaceful. Like,
when you're not stuck on where you're trying to be. Sometimes it's important to notice where you are. Sometimes it's important to see the present, because a lot of times, And y'all see these little quotes that people make all the time, but a lot of times you don't notice how far you've come because you're always stuck on where you need to get. And I made a post the other day, not even thinking about this topic because we just made the topic today. But I said, was it yesterday? It might have been yesterday. And I didn't even know we were talking about the topic. But what I said in the caption was, I might not be where I want to be, but I'm nowhere where I used to be. And sometimes you have to stop and look at like, I came so far from where I used to be in life. Angry, depression, anxiety. You know what I'm saying? Even just different environments. Like in January, February, I was getting a little depressed. I had that job I didn't want no more. Wasn't making no money. Friends was being crazy. It was just a lot going on, and to see where I am from then to now is just a blessing. And I think a lot of people overlook their current blessings. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times the stuff that we asked for a long time ago, we're sitting right in those blessings that we asked God for. And we're not allowing ourselves to be grateful for where God has brought us and what he's blessed us with. And I just think that everybody should just allow themselves to just reevaluate life. Like everything might not be going exactly how you want it right now, but is everything going how it was or how you wanted it to go, you know, a few months back or a few years back, and you looking at yourself now, you like, okay, well now I kind of, you know, life kind of going exactly how I wanted it to go. You know what I'm saying? I might not be all the way at the top. Let me tell you something, y'all. You ain't never gonna get done succeeding. It don't matter how many goals you set. It don't matter how many goals you set. It don't matter how many ladders and how many climbs up you want to do. Oh, I want to do something, do that. You are never going to be satisfied if you are always trying to be bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the thing is, you're going to always get bigger, bigger and bigger and bigger. You know what I'm saying? There's always a climb up, but just don't have your mind so set on that one goal. You know what I'm saying? Live in the moment. You know, enjoy this present life where you're healthy, you're walking, or even if you ain't walking and you're healthy, be grateful for it. You know what I'm saying? Or you're waking up this morning. You know what I'm saying? Be grateful for the people you have around you at the moment, because they might be gone tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? You just need to be really grateful of, you know, where you at in the moment. It might not be always the best. It might not be the best right now, but you know what I'm saying? You get through it and you'll get to a point where you'll be in a new present where you need to truly be grateful for that present. But just always be grateful for where you are, because some people aren't where you are, and some people are going through right now, and they'll get to where you are, and you'll get to where you need to go. But just be grateful. Be grateful.
And one thing I want to highlight, there's nothing wrong with wanting more for yourself, or you know, you having a vision and you wanting to see it through. It's nothing wrong with that. It becomes a problem when you're thinking of that end goal too much, and you're not in reality, and you're not in the present, like Jordan was saying. Like, it's really important that we see what's right here in front of us instead of looking 5-10 years in the future, because there's so many times where this is another tip. If you pray about something very, very, very specific, write it down, date it. Because I have so many notes in my phone right now of me just praying and pleading to God, like from months ago. All them prayers that I was asking for have been fulfilled. And just to see that, and it's crazy because a lot of people have that problem, like, oh, I'm not hearing from God. He's not answering my prayers. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. You're not writing it down. Like, you have to write it down. And when you go back and look through everything that you've written down, everything that you've been through, and to see yourself now.
And you know what's crazy is, you see how, like you said, write down the prayer to be real specific so that you remember. And sometimes people will overlook their prayers that they made, not only because they don't write them down, but because God won't answer your prayers exactly how you want them answered. He'll answer them exactly how you need them to be answered. Sometimes things ain't gonna be just given to you. Sometimes things ain't just gonna flow into your life exactly how you expect it. God will have it move into your life exactly how he wants it to move into your life. Yeah,
and I feel like, and that's the problem. People don't understand the way God works. God, he's not gonna take the easy way out. He'll take care of everything in the spirit.
It's a lesson in every blessing.
Everything. In the natural, you got to figure it out.
It's a lesson in every single blessing.
You got to figure it out.
God will bless you, but you got to learn something out of it. There got to be some type of growth, some type of level fulfilled for you to truly get those blessings and it be manifested into your life.
Or it could be just God wanting to get a testimony out of you.
True.
It could be, it could be God wanting his light to be shown through you or shown through your life. I've heard stories from so many people that have been in predicaments or been in situations where, you know, a situation turned around so quick, so fast, and it was like, I already knew it was God. There's no other explanation for it.
Man.
So it could be that as well. God just works in mysterious ways. People, okay?
And he does everything exactly how it needs to be done.
His timing is perfect. His ways are perfect. We may not understand them, but his ways are perfect.
For sure.
And just a part of being content is just trusting that his ways and how he's doing what he's doing is perfect. Yeah.
For sure. Well, another one of the stories that when she told me, she was like, yeah, I got some, you know, things that I wanted to like use as examples biblically. The first thing I thought of was the story of Moses and how things lined up exactly how they were supposed to for him, and he didn't even know it. And I was basically like, my whole thought process was Moses was pushed down the river and just ended up in the Pharaoh's home. You know what I'm saying? And became part of a group of people that he was not, and lived a certain way just by the simple fact that God, you know, put him there. And I think it's very important that we look at things like that, because Moses was called for a specific calling, and he didn't know his calling, and he didn't know what God was going to use him for, or what purpose he was going to use him for. But when it was time for him to fulfill that purpose, he was exactly where he needs to be, because God set him up just for that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times people, you know, they see where they are and they're like, nothing's moving, or, you know, I'm just being me. I'm living my daily life. And God could be setting up everything around you specifically for you to fall into your purpose. You know what I'm saying? You could be working a day-to-day job. And that's a testimony for me, because at one point, the job I'm working now, I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to work this job no more. Like, this isn't the career field that I wish to do. But I do want to be in the business aspects of things. And God had to tell me, like, Jordan, you just need to stay exactly where you are, because I'm putting you there for a reason. There is a lesson in the midst of that blessing. There's a lesson in the midst of that level up. Like, I needed to stay where I am so that I'm able to level up and learn things that I'm going to need later. And God has set you up in a specific place in your life where, like, later, the stuff that you learned at the place that you was at taught you everything you needed to know for that place you make it to.
And the Holy Spirit is working right now, because he reminded me of the story of David. If you want to read more about David, chapter 16, and, you know, all the rest of Samuel, because David, you know, he became king. Yeah. So, if you haven't read about 1 Samuel or don't know the story of David, David was appointed king after Saul, the previous king, disobeyed God. David was 15 when he was anointed to be king. Only 15. And he just so happened to be in the right place at the right time to be anointed. And on top of that, when let me make sure, because I don't think David was appointed king until he was 18. So for the 3-year span between him getting anointed to be king and him actually becoming king, David was playing the harp for Saul, the current king, because Saul was being tormented by demons. Because at this point, he had lost favor with God, and, you know, it was just open season for him. So to calm the spirits, to calm his mind, he liked to listen to music, and David played the harp. So for 3 years, David would just come to the palace, play the harp, go home, be a shepherd, tend to the sheep, and go to sleep. David, he was not worried about the end goal. He was looking at the present, and he was humble enough, even though God had given him this promise, to trust God, to stay and be placed in a position that didn't look like the end goal.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and that's the important thing about the Bible. The Bible gives us so many stories about how God wants us to live our lives. David is a testament of that. Abraham's a testament of that. Moses is a testament of that. Joseph is a testament of that. And even Jesus.
Ooh.
Jesus is a testament of that.
Jesus is that's a testament. Everybody is really a testament of just living your life and falling into purpose.
Yep.
Ooh.
And
good.
one thing that I love about the Bible, in every single one of those stories, we see the characters being discontent. We see the characters saying, God, I don't know about this.
And
doubting God.
Worried.
Even Jesus. Jesus.
Yeah.
So it's not wrong to feel discontent.
It's not unrealistic. It's real.
Yeah. It's just not okay to stay there. You can't stay in that hole.
Yeah. And I feel like we've all been there. Like I said, I've been there. It's to the point where I'm just like, God, what am I doing? There's a point I was just going to move away just because. And it's just like, you have to realize, like, it's not where you are right now that really matters. It's where you need to go. Yeah. You just need to make sure you stand in your position. Make sure you stand and stay where you need to stay. Because God it's the order. God is a God of order. And he has things set up exactly how they need to be set up. You just need to make sure you stay in position. You have to stay.
Yeah. So, you got anything else?
I don't have anything else. I think this was pretty well said. I think we got our points across really, really well. Feel free to look up all those stories. Moses is in Exodus. I didn't tell y'all that, but it's Exodus.
I'll send them to Jordan so he can link them down in the description if you want to read about them more.
For sure. Feel free to ask any questions that you like.
Yes, and also we're starting a Bible study for Back to Eden.
Oh, yes.
That I will be leading.
She will.
So basically, I just want to give like a little rundown about what the Bible study is. Yeah. He's eating Mexican candy, y'all. So, I just wanted to give like a little, background about what the Bible study is going to entail. So it's going to be more like a book club type thing. So weekly I'll assign, certain passages of scriptures to read. And we'll all come together on Monday night at 7:30 to discuss those topics that we read about, discuss understandings or revelations that we got during that time, reading, and just all of us understanding the word better together. I really feel like it's important for people, especially if they're new to the Christian walk, to have community, especially with people that have been just a little bit more experienced with their journey. So I feel like this is like the perfect opportunity, and I'm opening the door to anybody that would be interested. If you have any questions about, times, dates, what passages we're reading, if you want to join, Jordan's going to link my Instagram below. So you can DM me or you can DM him. So yeah, really excited to start that. I'm still trying to decide where I want to start in the Bible. I do have a lot of new people coming in, so I think Genesis will be perfect. But I'm also thinking Matthew.
With Jesus' first name? We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Is there anything else that we want to highlight?
I don't think so.
I am also selling body butter.
He is real aesthetics, okay? And you can use it on your hair too. It's not just skincare.
It's shea butter, and it just has oils in it like sweet almond oil, black castor oil, coconut oil. It just got tea tree oil. It just has a whole bunch of like really raw oils that are really good for like your skin and like your hair and just overall naturally based. But I'm gonna put the link to that Instagram below too. So if y'all would like to follow that page, feel free to do so. They are $10 a jar, but it's really worth it and it lasts and you don't need a lot and they smell really, really good. And I'm gonna be putting out different scents for the holiday season too. So look forward to that. And potential different colors and stuff. But yeah, just be on the lookout for that. But if you are interested in buying it, feel free to follow the Instagram page. Is that anything else?
I don't think so. I don't think so, yeah.
Okay.
This was a great episode. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Bye.
If you have any suggestions for our next topic, just let us know down below or in our DMs.
Right.
We will be happy for suggestions. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Clap your hands and stand up with me. Let's give God all the glory. Cause God can do any and everything. Just follow in line and believe. And we say